Hello, I'm thinking you can see me now. No warnings or anything. I want to make that clear. I was just jumping on because I've got to stay awake, and well, there's not a ton going on, really. They expanded the tornado watch to include Catahoula and Concordia and points east, but this line is looking pretty darn peaked. I was surprised they expanded the tornado watch, and I'll tell you what, it's not going to keep me up if my diagnostic skills and prognostic skills tell me that it's time to go to bed. But for now, it's not. I'm gonna keep with it because I'm mainly watching this trailing end down near Jasper, Texas. That's where we have some decent lightning still going on. But remember earlier we were talking about like 1600 down to 1300 strikes. Well, now we have gone from 500 down to 300. So it's fading out. It's improving. Things are looking better. So I'm doing a severe weather stream. I have 25 people. I usually have 3 or 400 in here. So I get it. I mean, there's not much going on. Most of you are probably asleep. So let's start with some good news. Let's clear some of you out of it. And yes, I know you're still in the tornado watch, but I'm going to break the rules. Okay. So I would say pretty much west of a Winnsboro to south of Winfield line, down here into southern Natchitoches Parish. I mean, this is pretty generous, I think. I'm gonna include that. I'm gonna keep that area in the severe threat here. But if you're behind that blue line, go to bed. You're set. And realistically, I don't think we have a huge issue with areas out ahead of this line. There still is a low end threat for severe weather, but like I said, my concern level was about a 3 out of 10. I thought we'd have a few warnings, which we did, and I have not heard any damage reports yet. So that's some awesome news right there. Let me pull up the chat. I don't think much has been going on. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we still have favorable parameters in place. The dew points, I've been talking about that. The dew points, remember earlier we were in the upper 50s near 60. Let's take a look at that. So I'm going to pull that off. Okay, so earlier the dew points were in the upper 50s and low 60s. Now, here in Alexandria, 69, 71. Actually, it was 70 at the airport. Now, as you get up further north toward Winfield, again, 59, so it's much cooler, much drier air mass up that way, or much more stable air mass, I should say. And then down into northern LaSalle, you can really kind of see where that line is, where that front is. Now, up here, behind all this 60, it's a different color, but we're not worried about that. What I'm watching here is that deeper green, and then that has popped northward here over the last couple of hours. Our dew point jumped like 10 degrees in less than an hour, so that was kind of cool to watch. Warm front came through. I mean, it's all part of the process here, and that warm sector is a little wider, so maybe that's why they expanded that tornado watch out to the east. But so far, the convection, the thunderstorm activity, it's looking pretty terrible. It's not looking very organized right now. So we still have a couple of special weather statements. Some of you are hearing the thunder, seeing some heavy rainfall. Let me take a look at the rainfall totals here. We'll go for the last 12 hours. And so, yeah, we're expanding some of that. Just a few scattered showers. You folks in the southern part of the area where it was supposed to be lighter. This morning we were saying maybe a quarter inch to a half, and we've seen some half-inch areas there, but most of the heavier rainfall from Sabine into Natchitoches, Wynn, parts of Grant, LaSalle, and up into Caldwell Parish, where there are flood warnings up toward Washita Parish as well. But, yeah, heavy rain in Leesville. It's looking good. There you go. Leesville, you are in the, so you're in the storms right now, and for the next hour or two, you should stay that way. I'm going to put things in motion here and take the lightning off. Let's see. All right, that storm moving through Leesville, yeah, you're getting dumped on pretty good. Rose Pine, you're like, what are you talking about? There's nothing happening here. But we have this line out here. Now, this just is not an impressive looking line of storms to me. Now, could something spin up? Could something happen? Of course it could. That's why I'm still awake. But, right now, you can see that outflow pushing through Leesville, and once you get behind that line of storms, behind where that wind shift is, where we see the cooler and drier air start to mix down, behind that line, the severe threat just crashes quickly. It goes down, goes away. And since we haven't seen a warning in a couple of hours, that's encouraging stuff. I saw some comments, and people were wanting me to kind of update things, and I figured I'd do a live, and then I'd do a text update, but I figured this was a quicker way to get out the word that Natchitoches, you're good, Winfield, Jonesboro, all good. Manny, you're fine. The severe threat is over. And really, I think it's low everywhere across the area right now. Let's check power outages. Let's kind of make the rounds here and see what's up. Still out of focus on that thing. 300 power outages. That means we did not see any significant damage. So good news there. The tornado outlook, this is still the one that we had that came out earlier. So yeah, we have the slight risk, the level 2 of 5. Let me look at the Alexandria camera, see if we're seeing anything out there right now. It looks a little spooky. That's about it. But nothing really doing here. Sorry, I had a scratch on my back, or an itch on my back. I had to scratch. So that is what we have going on there. Oh, I realized in this storyboard I have to change the Cenla update with Cenla Broadcasting logo, but that's my boy Stephen Maxwell. You can catch him out there doing all the news stuff, and while I do all the weather stuff. All right, so let's go through the latest HRRR. Let's see what it's showing, because it has been pretty good on this line, and especially with the fact that that southern half really weakens. So there we go. I mean, this thing shows that line just not really making a ton of forward progress, keeping some shower and thunderstorm threat in the area through the overnight, but I think that severe threat really drops off as we get a little later into this. So if you are wondering, can I go to bed? I would say do it. I don't see a huge chance for severe weather out of this, as this system, the flow is kind of starting to turn a little more to the southwest. Let me see what the surface winds are doing right now here in Alexandria. Yeah, south-southwest. So still enough turning in the low-level winds to see the potential for some severe weather. And the dew point's up to 70, so we have the parameters looking good, but we do not have anything really looking close on radar. Now watch me go over there and there'd be a warning. No, there's not. In fact, okay, there is that one special weather statement still in effect, that big one from LaSalle and Caldwell down through Wynn, parts of Grant and Natchitoches Parish, but not even a special weather statement on these, and these are down in that more unstable air mass. So these storms, they're not close to severe limits right now. I'm watching things here. Let me take a look here since we're close to the radar. Yeah, I mean, what kind of wind am I looking at here? 36, 23. Yeah, there's nothing. I've seen a couple of attempts to kind of curl something up. We had a little area near Sykes earlier that looked interesting, but again, that I think is elevated because it was much cooler and more stable up that way with the surface-based instability. And yeah, so this is what we're looking at right now. Just enough to keep me awake, but I think you can go to sleep. You go ahead. Again, you have permission. I don't see a big severe threat here. Leave your phone up to where, you know, if a warning is issued, it jars you out of your sleep and scares you to death. But let's see what we have here. Sound keeps fading in and out. Oh, let's see. Maybe it's because I'm moving around so much. I'm getting wobbly. I'm getting active right now. Caldwell, you're dumping right now. Okay, yeah, you get flood warning up there into northern Caldwell Parish. It's where you've seen the heavier rainfall. And yeah, you guys are really getting. And here's the thing. As this line, as it kind of does that thing where that eastern or that northern side bows out to the east and that southern area lags back, as it stretches out, there's going to be some heavier rainfall totals, maybe a couple of inches in some spots. So I can't rule out an isolated flood warning, but the storms themselves right now do not look close to severe limits. Evans, Burr Ferry, that whole area. Let me just say this. The severe threats are really low for everyone. There's no area right now where I'm saying, well, no area behind that. Okay, so there is an area where I'm saying it's all clear. So Natchitoches down to Manny, Winfield, you're good. Beyond that, it's a very low, I would say lower than what the Storm Prediction Center is saying right now on the chances for severe weather. So I'm going to go if, you know, the tornado risk at 5% within 25 miles of a point, I think it's more of a 2% risk right now. So that is getting better. It's improving. And these storms have never taken off out ahead of that. And that's a good sign here, even as we have that tornado watch extended to the east. But yeah, it's pouring in Leesville. I see a lot. I'm thinking Leesville is filling up the chat because it's raining really hard there. And you probably have some lightning and thunder going on. Not a ton, though, really. Not a lot of lightning with those cells out there. More lightning with this one back into Jasper and Newton County, Texas, into southern parts of, what is it? Come on, Nick. Sabine County, Texas. There you go. And that, you can see a lot of lightning with that one, but that's really, when it comes down to the lightning, you can see even that's kind of on a downward trend right now. So lightning strikes down to 294. Let's get it down to 0 so we can all go to bed. But that's it for me for right now. This might be my last update live if we don't see another warning. If we do, I will pop back on because that's what I do. But this is kind of what I expected. I expected a lot of not much, and you know what? I'm thinking. Can you sleep in Burr Ferry? I would. I mean, I see a lot of things that are worse than what I'm seeing right now. So can I give you a guarantee that there's not going to be a severe storm? No, but I'd be going to sleep if I weren't a weatherman, and I am. So real downward trend on the lightning up here in this northern part of the watch. So that's a great sign. And really, if it weren't for this storm right here, I'd probably be close to going to bed. Not quite, but I'd be close. Because we have one of our kids flying in from Seattle at 9:30 in the morning. The other one leaves Texas tomorrow around 9 o'clock. I have no idea how you get here from Seattle at 9:30, but I'm guessing he's boarding a plane pretty soon. Time for you to take your meds. Yeah, take the meds, go to bed. All right, I'm going to get out of here for now. Don't fret. Can't rule out a warning, but I don't see anything close right now. So I see the individual questions coming in. Just looks like rain that we need and not a huge severe threat, because when I go into like this area, lightning strikes, I mean, we're down to 148. I don't see where they're coming from. There must be something I'm missing. And then this one down here, that's the cell that contains a little bit more, 95 just on that one right there. So some heavy rainfall, maybe some thunder. I heard a few rumbles here earlier, and I want to hear some more. You know what? I really do. I think we're going to see this watch here. It won't be reissued, the one that expires at 1. I expect Natchitoches, Wynne, Sabine County, and Parish to be pulled out of this probably within the next hour or so, though again, I think your threat is really dropping. Clearly by the tone of my voice, I'm not that freaked out right now. All right, I'm out of here. Hopefully I see you in the morning. If you tune in regularly at the 9 o'clock hour, I'm thinking if I'm up until 2 or 3, I'll sleep a little beyond that, but I don't know. Everybody's going to be getting here. So I probably won't sleep, and then I'll be crabby all day tomorrow, but that's all right. My wife has to deal with that, not you. I'm always going to be smiling for you and for her. I'm kidding. She's a sweetheart. That's it for now. I will see you back here, hopefully, for my live stream at some point tomorrow morning.
No matter the weather, Alexandria Emergency Hospital is always here for you. Rain or shine, our doors are open 24/7 to provide the care you and your loved ones need fast. Every second counts, and Alexandria